So let us continue. I'm gonna be closer to the microphone so I don't need to talk as loud. After dinner, that's really loud. Well, not really loud, but that's a little bit too loud. After dinner, without the energy to watch TV, I climbed into the futon in my bedroom and let my head be overtaken by gloomy thoughts. I told Rika-chan anything and everything. She had seemed trustworthy at the time, but had that really been the right choice? The more I looked back on it, the less I understood what Rika-chan was saying. Not only did she know about Takano-san and Tomitake-san's deaths, but she spoke of them as if she were a concerned party. Rika talked to us about cats and dogs. Yeah, about a little cat that snuck into the ritual warehouse. Storehouse. Yes, that's the only thing that she talked to us about. Um, well, whatever, it's gonna be a little bit loud, but I hope that's fine. So Rika-chan was just talking to us about a cat. After all this time in my futon, I began to tremble fiercely. Had I been lured in by Rika-chan's sweet smile and told her things I shouldn't have? I should have continued to feign ignorance. I shouldn't have shown her such a weak side of me. My emotions are a mix of regret and fear, and it colored the darkness of the night with an additional layer of terror. Suddenly, a knock. I might have yelled. That's how surprised I was. さっきから呼んでるぞ。電話だ。園崎さんから。Oh my. It was Dad. I reached out for the cordless phone through the gap in my door. 園崎さんってどっち？姉？妹？そんなのは知らん。自分で出て聞きなさい。I took the receiver and buried myself in my futon again. もしもし、ミオンか？シオンか？私です。シオンです。こんばんは。I practically jumped out of my bed. It was Shion, who I hoped so desperately would call me back last night. Shion! ゆうべはすまなかった。つい興奮して。I heard what sounded like a deep sigh on the other end. 俺もシオンも同じ立場なんだよな。一方的に責めるような言い方をして悪かった。もうしない。謝るから機嫌を直してくれ。機嫌を直したから電話したんです。後悔したなら許してあげますから、もう謝るのをやめてください。Shion's tone still sounded a little angry, but for the moment she said she'd forgive me. ケイちゃんの言うように、私たちは運命共同体なんです。互いの無事の確認が自分たちの安全の唯一の保証なんです。Oh dear lord. I mean, Rika-chan kind of implied that we will be safe, but she also said that she cannot assure the safety of Shion. ああ、それについては同感だ。だから、私たちは互いの知っている情報を共有する必要があります。高野さんたちみたいな死に方をしないために。I forced myself to swallow a solid drop of saliva. では、昨日の続きを話します。もう怒らないで聞いてくれますよね。ああ、大丈夫だ。まず、私たちが思っている以上に最後殿に忍び込んだことは禁忌、タブーだったみたいです。 Takano-san and Tomitake-san's miserable ends, terrible enough that you could call them a warning. They were more than enough to make me believe that. Yeah, about Mayor, I didn't even remember that he was involved in the anime, but it is pretty obvious that he was involved in it. It is uncertain still that who killed the mayor, or rather, what happened to the mayor. It is implied that he was demoned away. So I do believe that, but I don't remember what exactly the demoning away even entails in this iteration of the timeline. So yeah, it's still unsolved. Which is really interesting. I didn't even remember that, so I was rather surprised by how much focus they put on the mayor's sudden disappearance.
犯人たちは最後伝を怪我した首謀格のあの二人を殺し、次に私たちを狙います。否定したいでしょうが、これを認めてください。失踪してから認めてももう遅いんですよ。
分かってるって。用心に越したことはないからな。
私も本当は認めたくありません。あんな拷問道具の博覧会を覗きにしたことがあんな殺され方をする理由になるなんて絶対に信じたくない。
That's what a taboo it is. For those who honor it, if one breaks the taboo, no matter how small or innocent their intentions were, they wouldn't be forgiven. I do need to gather the clues and solve it. I mean, I'm sure that if we just continue with the game, it will be revealed, but it would be really interesting to actually figure it out before that. But I cannot remember anything about this, so... I mean... I'm trying to just figure it out, but for some reason I'm getting no ideas. Also, check this uptime. That's a pretty insane uptime. That's sick.
互いに何か気になることがあったら報告し合いましょう。互いの持つ小さな断片を合わせていけば、ひょっとすると高野さんたちを殺した、いえ、今年の事件に限らない。
Now, I mean, the biggest thing about that, the mayor's disappearance is that they were one of the three families, so that's a really big problem there, because that just means that I have no idea what exactly happened, or I have no clue why he disappeared. So yeah, it's all quite a mystery.
過去の連続事件を解決する鍵が見つかるかもしれません。
そうだな。確かにそうだ。
All I was doing was waiting in fear, but Shion had already thought that far ahead. Given how trustworthy she felt, I became embarrassed over how passive I was being.
では、まずは言い出した私からいきます。最近、誰かに監視されているような気がします。
Oh, that's very likely. え？
と言っても、気のせいかもしれません。でも、一応報告します。今は気のせいだと思っていますけど、もしもケイちゃんも同じように誰かに監視されているように感じるなら、これは気のせいじゃないのかもしれませんから。
そういうことなら安心しろ。
Likely motive, likely culprit, people involved with mayor. I mean, all of the main families are involved with the mayor, so I kind of suspect Zonozaki family, just in general, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, there's not a very good motive for it. I mean, probably to complete the deeming away Onikakushi and just demon someone away. That's most likely the motive, but I can't kind of figure out anything else besides that. So yeah, that's a thing.
少なくとも俺の方は大丈夫だ。
I'm just suspecting the Zenosaki, that's as much as I can say for now. I think, therefore I am. As I spoke with Shion, I thought back on today. I had no grounds to say that everything was fine. I have no clue, man. I don't know. Maybe to stage a coup d'etat or stage a power gas, like they want to grasp at more power? Like, if they just want more power, then getting rid of one of the more powerful allies is one way to do it, but that's the only reason I can figure out. Otherwise, there's very few people who are even kind of messed up in metal, like, who are even involved with the mayor. I can't figure out anybody else. I was thinking about Furude, but Rika is the only Furude alive, so that's unlikely.
そうですか。では気のせいということにしますが、ケイちゃんも注意してください。特に一人で表を歩くときは細心の注意を払ってください。私は沖宮ですから一人きりになることはそうそうありませんが、ケイちゃんはひなみ沢です。一人ぼっちになることも多いはずです。特に注意してください。
A huge mystery why the mayor disappeared, though. Like, I can't really figure out a reason for that. Not any good reasons at the very least.
そうだな。ああ、気をつけるよ。
それからお姉なんですが、何か変わった様子はありませんか？
俺ってミオンのことか。変わった様子ってどういうことだ？
It's not really... Nothing's really clicking in place.
私、お姉に渡流しの夜の所在について問いただされました。
Maybe the police? No. Why would the police be involved with the mayor? I don't know.
え？それは俺もだよ。一昨日かな。ミオンに聞かれた。
やっぱりですか。私は言ってないと答えました。ケイちゃんは？
同じだよ。ごまかした。
Both of us gave a quiet sigh of relief.
渡流しの晩以降、お姉の様子はおかしいです。用心に越したことはありませんので、注意してくださいね。
Mion was acting strangely. Aside from her asking me about the night of the Watanagashi, she hadn't seemed too out of the ordinary. At least from my point of view. Her twin sister, though, was saying she was acting weird. Maybe it was such a slight change that a stranger like me wouldn't be able to notice.
わかった。少し用心するよ。
I mean, I do believe that the mayor is dead. I am pretty sure about that. Or, like, I can remember that the Zonozaki household has a cave where they hide people. They, like, capture people and hide them there. So, it's possible that he's being kept there, but it is unlikely. Also, I don't know in which recollection of events it happens on, so I cannot remember in which loop it happens, or that cave exists. I mean, the whole thing is rather confusing, so I think it kind of exists in every iteration, but I do not believe that it is a central figure in this iteration of the loop. But I do wonder exactly whether it is. I mean, I do believe that the mayor is still dead. But I don't believe Oishi did it. That's very unlikely. At least there doesn't seem to be a good motive for it. At least I can't figure it out.
帰り道は必ずレナも一緒だから、二人きりになるってこともそうそうないしな。
用心してください。気になることがあったら教えてくださいね。
わかった。
では、ケイちゃんの方では何か私に話すことはありませんか？
My turn. That's right. Maybe I should report on Oishi-san asking me the same question at the library.
あ、ケイちゃんが逃げ遅れたあの時の話ですね。
ああ、大石さんにかなり強い口調で聞かれたよ。あの晩、高野さんたちと一緒にいなかったか、シオンに会わなかったかって。大石さんは俺たちが4人一緒にいたところを見ていたようだった。
警察にしてみれば、高野さんたちが最後に会った人間ということになりますからね。私たちに興味を持つのはある意味当然でしょうね。
こっちもごまかしたけど、かえって興味を持たれたかもしれない。
There was no way I could have tricked that sly old fox Oishi-san. My troubled countenance have only made him even more certain.
なあ、シオン。警察なら行っちゃってもいいんじゃないのか？むしろ俺たちの状況を思えば、警察を味方につけるのはプラスだと思うぞ。
Shion didn't answer right away. For a few moments, all I could hear was her breathing as she thought about it. Yeah, that one time Oishi bought you a drink.
そういえば大石さんはミオンに何らかの嫌疑があるなんて言ってたような気がする。うん、確かにそう言ってた。
昨日も話しました通り、園崎家はひなみ沢に強い影響力を持っています。大石は一連の連続開始事件を園崎本家が中心になった村ぐるみの犯行だと疑っていますから。
They are not wrong, I think.
園崎家が中心になった村ぐるみの犯行？
Please don't get angry like you did yesterday and just listen. I hammered that home before I got too upset.
ひなみ沢のダム闘争の時、リーダーシップを期待された神主があまりに日和見だったので、園崎本家が首謀閣になって決起したんです。 戦いの歴史についてはお姉から聞いてますよね。
ああ、ひなみ沢全体で一丸となって戦ったんだろう。デモをしたり裁判に訴えたりテレビに出たり。
実際はもっともっと過激なこともたくさん行われたんです。その時本家が水面下でさまざまな違法な抵抗活動を行ったと言われてます。
I mean, if I believe I am correct in assuming that Onikakushi is a thing that the villagers do to punish outsiders in the same way that they did in the first iteration. If I am correct in that, I believe. I might not be. I might be very much mistaken, but I do believe that that's the thing.
違法な抵抗活動？
例えば夜中に建設現場に忍び込み機材を盗んだり壊したり、建設重機のガソリンタンクに角砂糖を入れたりとか。
ガソリンタンクに砂糖？なんでそんなことを？
知らないんですか？戦争中にフランスの地下組織なんかがやった典型的なゲリラ活動ですよ。
Arc 1, how does Arc 1 tie in with this narrative? I mean, I think since each arc is kind of their own thing, it only gives few perspectives. Like the arc 1 basically just shows the way to die, how the targets die, which is by clawing out their own throat. And that it targets outsiders. Yeah, that's about it, and that doesn't really fit in that well. Yeah, that just makes things more complicated. It's pretty confusing, to be honest, and I really don't know what to think about all of it. So yeah, no, I just can't figure it out. Weird. Okay.
砂糖を入れるとエンジンが焦げついて壊れちゃうんですよ。
Strange. Everything's kind of complicated. That's pretty bad though, isn't it? It was the destruction of property and nothing less.
建設現場への監視が強化されると、今度は工事の重要な立場にある人間への攻撃に変更されました。例えば工事を認可した役人たちにはさまざまな脅迫が行われました。それは県庁の役人だけでなく建設省の偉い役人にまで及んだそうです。聞いた話では子供の誘拐までやって
They kidnap a child once.
誘拐？
ええ。建設省のひなみ沢ダムを担当する偉い人の子供が神隠しにあったんですよ。で、ある日突然ひなみ沢のもっと上流の高津戸の山中で保護されまして、犯行声明はなかったって言われてるんですけど、ダム工事を中止するようにとの脅迫があったのではないかと囁かれています。 にも枚挙にいとまがないほどの脅迫の話があります。
それは確かにちょっとやばいな。
Sort of bad, isn't it? That's a rather quite a bit of an understatement.
そんな最中だったんですよ。第一の事件、現場監督のバラバラ殺人があったのは。園崎家が主犯格の男を買収したのではとささやかれてますが、何しろ今日も逃走中ですからね。
When she put it that way, the Zonosaki family definitely seemed suspicious.
犯人も口封じで消したんじゃないかって大石は思ってるみたいです。当然ですね。身内である私ですら、園崎本家の暗躍があったのではないかと思ってるくらいですから。
それを俺に信じろってのか。ミオンの園崎本家がそんな悪いことをやってきたと信じろというのか。
ケイちゃんが信じなくても村人たちは信じてます。自分たちが綺麗な抵抗運動をする陰で園崎家が汚い抵抗運動をしてくれた。自分たちの矢面に立って戦ってくれたんだってみんな思ってます。ですからちょっとしたダークヒーローとして崇められているんですよね。私が知っているのは本当に一部だけだと思います。例えば誘拐なんかの特にヤバい話は当主のバッチャを含めほんの数人しか知らされてないと思います。園崎家は秘密主義ですから。
秘密主義か。
Intriguing. If there's something that I don't really like about the game, it's that they are hammering some facts in home really quite heavy-handedly, which is rather unfortunate, but because I do believe that they wouldn't need to keep repeating stuff that much, but I mean things are rather self-evident, but it's to set atmosphere, so it's fine. A family so unforthcoming that even Shion, who is related to them, doesn't know everything about them. The Zonosaki family. Unlike Shion, her older twin, Neon was deeply involved with everything, and that was not a fun thought to entertain.
そういった違法な抵抗運動の中心として年少ながら活躍したのがお姉でした。
By the way, why is the... Aha! It worked! Okay.
ミオンがどういうことだよ。
うちのお父さんヤクザの大物ですから。
A dad is a big shot Yakuza.
年少のお姉でも若い柄の悪いのを何人も従えることができました。で、様々な嫌がらせや妨害をやってのけたんです。
I'm out of apples.
ミオンが
No more apples.
今はなんだかのんびりした雰囲気だから想像もつかないでしょうが、器物破損から脅迫、暴行まで一通りこなして何度も補導されたんですよ。
Mion in charge of violence. Now that is hard to believe.
子供ですからすぐに釈放してもらえたみたいですけどね。お姉は 自分の年齢が武器になることを知ってたみたいです。
How intriguing. It may have been indiscreet, but I couldn't help but chuckle dryly. She may have been young, but she was certainly still Mion. Even back then, she had already been known for her craftiness.
笑い事じゃないです。真剣になってください。
あ、悪い。そんなつもりじゃ。
Shion had gotten pretty angry at me.
まあ、そんな不良娘だったお姉も、いつの間にかそのだけ本家の重鎮。大石がバラバラ殺人以降の事件を疑いたくなるのも、まあ無理ないことです。
For a few moments, I was dumbstruck at the tales of Mion's past. None of them matched the image I had of her. The younger Mion, dirtying her hands with all sorts of crimes, giving the damn construction project hell. As the successor to the Sonosaki main family, she was always right at the center of the vortex of strange incidents occurring year after year. Was that really the Mion I know? Maybe the one I know isn't the real Mion. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't bring myself to accept these images of Mion I was hearing from another person.
まあ、話を戻します。お姉が注意に値する存在であることは理解してもらえたと思います。注意してください。
I didn't want to understand. Mion was a fantastic friend. She would never do something to back me into a corner like that. She did ask me pretty harshly about the night of the festival, but even that, it wasn't like she'd said it in a mean way or anything.
わかった。気をつけるようにするよ。
私とお姉は血のつながった姉妹ですが、園崎家にあってはまるで格が違うんです。私とはとても遠い存在だということを認識してください。
Well, she's basically head of the house.
お願いします。
The more Shion tells me about Mion, the less I understand who Mion is. The Mion I know wasn't a dangerous person. She joked around, smiled a lot, and was full of passion. Now that I'd realized I held such a view towards her, Shion was telling me to change it. To be careful around the best friend ever. Without her. The idea was very sad and painful.
で、大石の件ですが、ケイちゃんがいいと判断するなら、必要な情報を与えてもいいと思います。やはり警察を味方につけるのは、私たちに有利に働くと思います。
やっぱりシオンもそう思うか。
ただ、今説明した通り、園崎の人間はそもそも警察に睨まれているんです。
Well, she is. Quite considerably, I would say. I mean, I believe so.
特に大石は、園崎家が丸ごと連続事件の黒幕だと決めてかかってますからね。それはもちろん私も含めてです。ですから、私はあまり大石には関わりたくないんです。
Naruhodo. I see. If Oishi-san had found out about the Sonosaki family's strife-filled history, then he probably wouldn't be very happy with Shion either. At last, I understood Mion's instinctive dislike for Oishi-san.
どうせバレてはいるんですが、一応私の名前を伏せておいてください。それだけ守ってくれれば、大石には何を話しても問題ないと思います。
わかった。伏せるようにするよ。
警察の捜査力は 今の私たちにはとても心強い武器になると思います。
This is getting rather intense. I wonder how this will all pan out.
大石が興味深い話をしたら私にも聞かせてくださいね。
ああ、もちろんだ。情報は互いに交換し、研究し合おう。高野さんたちを殺したのは誰なのか、そして俺たちを狙うのは誰なのか、それが分かるまで俺たちは自衛しなくてはならない。
あとはありますか？大石に聞かれたこと以外は。身に起こったことはどんな些細なことでも教えてください。
Aside from my discussion with Oishi-san? Oh. I tell her that I revealed everything to Rika-chan. Rika-chan was acting like she knew something I didn't. Told me to leave it to her. But what? That's right. I was talking to her. I mentioned Shion's name too. Was that a mistake? I felt like Shion would get angry.
何もないんですか？ケイちゃん。
I had remained quiet for a little while, though Shion encouraged me to speak, unable to bear the silence.
えっと
As I struggled with what to say, Shion addressed me instead.
ないようでしたら私から聞きたいんですけど、私もついさっき聞いたんですが、君吉のおじいちゃんが行方不明になったって本当ですか？
The old man Kimiyoshi? My gut told me that was the name of the mayor.
村長さんのことか？なんだシオン、聞いてないのか？
何も知らないです。お父さんが電話でそう話してるのまた盗み聞いただけですから。
Oh, okay. I realized I shouldn't have said that. Here in Naomizawa, things that happened around this time, when Oyashiro-sama's curse would recur, would all be covered up.
ああ、実はな、昨べ会合の後、家に帰ってこないとかでひなみ沢中で大騒ぎになったんだ。村中で探したみたいだけど、まだ見つかったって話は聞かないな。警察も探してるはずなんだけど。
なんでそんな大事な話を先にしてくれなかったんですか？
She knows something. I wonder what she knows about the importance of old man Kimiyoshi. She shouted angrily at me, bringing all her emotion to bear.
悪い。もう知ってると思ってたんだよ。隠す気なんかなかった。
The receiver was silent. Did Shion get mad again and hang up?
おい、シオン、もしもし？
ケイちゃん、私どうしよう。
Oh. Maybe Kimiyoshi was a protector of protected Shion? Maybe the mayor protected Shion. That is entirely possible. Well, I mean, we're gonna get to see that soon, so let us see. Shion's tiny, confused voice sounded like it belonged to a different person than the one yelling a few seconds ago.
どうした？話せよ。俺たちの間で隠し事はなしだろ？
Shion hesitated for a long while, but then she confessed.
ごめん。隠すつもりはなかったんです。ちょっと言うのが前後したっていうか。
俺たちは仲間だろ。怒ったりしないから正直に話せよ。
Shion still hesitated for a few moments. Then, in a resigned voice, she continued.
私、君吉のおじいちゃんに打ち明けたんです。
Well, there we have the motive, and there we have the reason that he died. So it's very likely that I will die next, because she knows everything. So yeah, rip Rika. Shion seemed to think I would yell at her right after she said that, so I heard her catching her breath. Contrary to what she thought, I was a little relieved. Shion had done the same thing I had when I confessed everything to Rika-chan. So, in as gentle a voice as I could, so as to not set her off, I responded,
君吉のじいさんってのはシオンにとって相談できる心安い人なんだろ？
はい。
So, the protectors of Shion and Keiichi will die. I mean, that's fine enough of a motive. So... what about Satoko? Is she the culprit? That is entirely possible. Who knows what that little devil is up to?
私のこと小さい頃から本当に可愛がってくれて。
He was really nice to me. Shion felt the same pain as the rest of us from the mayor's disappearance. She had a different kind of strength from Mion, and as she continued, her voice sounded truly sad and pained.
私いつも意地悪なことをしてたのに、いつもニコニコと笑って、私の言うことは何でも聞いてくれて。 本当に優しい人だったのに。
落ち着けよシオン。別に死んでしまったわけじゃないだろ。
Whoops. Oh well. He is probably dead.
そんな簡単に諦めるなよ。
Shion didn't answer. Even as I said it myself. I didn't think we'd ever find the missing mayor again. We probably wouldn't even figure out if he was alive or dead. Shion must have been thinking the same thing.
村長さんに、私、あの晩、最後でに忍び込んだこと、打ち明けたんです。 誰かにそれを見られてて、私たちを狙っている人がいるって。
村長さんは高野さんたちがまともじゃない死に方をしたのを知ってるのか？
はい、知っていました。あの二人がお社様のたたりで死んだから、私はその怒りを鎮める生贄にされるんじゃないかって、本当に率直に言いました。
ああ。それで
I have no recollection of this. This is all rather
君吉のおじいちゃん、怒らなかった。そしてにっこり笑って、シオンちゃんがちゃんと反省してるなら鬼隠しになんかなるものかって。
intriguing.
笑いながら任せなさい。
How haunting. That is the exact same thing Rika-chan said. Until Shion stopped sobbing, I was unable to find any words for her. I couldn't imagine what kind of person the mayor was, or what Shion's relationship with him was like. Maybe Satoko is Oyashiro playing traps on people. You've got it all figured out. Words of comfort, however, mean so much to us when we are about to be crushed by anxiety. Today, Rika-chan taught me that too. If someone who gave me such a sense of security were to disappear, then I could guess what kind of shock Shion was in.
私のせいです。私が打ち明けてしまったから。
よせよシオン。シオンのせいじゃないよ。
Oh my, she's freaking out.
私が打ち明けてしまったから。君吉のおじいちゃんがしてしまったから。
Knowledge means death.
殺されてしまったに違いないんです。だって打ち明けてすぐなんですよ。打ち明けて大丈夫って言ってくれたその晩に消えてしまったんです。話すんじゃなかった。これは全部私たち4人の動画だったはず。
I mean, yeah, everybody involved with the incident will die. Very likely.
他人に話してはいけないことだったんです。話したから殺されてしまった。だから殺されてしまった。打ち明けたから殺されてしまった。
Jesus.
おい待てよ。そんな奴なら打ち明けた村長を殺す前にお前から先に殺すに決まってるじゃないか。
That is so logical. But that's really weird that that's not what happened.
順番が違うよ。殺されるなら俺かシオンが先。他の奴らが先に死んだりするものか。
順番はあります。
Yeah, poor Shion is having a panic attack. Indeed she is. It is in order. Now this is going to be interesting to see how she justifies this.
私たちを一番最後に殺すつもりに違いないんです。
But why?
は？なんだって？
人を思い殺さないで親しい人たちから順々に殺していって散々悲しい思いをさせた後に殺す、そういう狙いに違いないんです。
Oh yeah, let's get over there and give her a hug. Yeah. I mean, cutting just a phone call short would be really cruel, but yeah. I wanna give her a hug. I mean, it kind of makes sense that they would kill the people who give comfort first, so that it would cause more pain. It kind of makes sense in a strange sort of way.
落ち着けって。シオンは今ショックを受けてパニックを起こしてるだけなんだよ。村長の失踪はシオンとは関係ない。無関係だ。高野さんたちの死とも全く関係ないんだ。
My words came out as a scream, as if I were shouting them at myself.
関係あります。絶対にそうなんです。私が話したから殺されてしまった。だから殺されてしまった。打ち上げたから殺されてしまった。
She repeated the same thing as before, as though she were in delirium. Despite my trying to console the crazed Shion, for some reason the shadow at my feet began to freeze. From that shadow, a cold arm reached out, so cold it seemed like it would freeze even my heart just by touching me, and grabbed my ankle. The heat generated by my body, the arm was absorbing it. It was a horrible chill. Freezing cold, numbingly frigid. It was an inviolable chill of fear. Though I sympathized with Shion, I had been naive in thinking it was something only she had to worry about. In my head, Shion's eerie words repeated again and again. He was killed because I told him. He was killed because he found out. I confessed everything, so he was killed. Those words echoed through my head like a monotone mantra, and finally, those even repetitions took on meaning. The quiet shaking that had already overtaken me turned into a violent shiver that shot up my spine.
ちゃんリカちゃんだ。
今なんて言ったんですか？
俺も実は打ち明けたんだ。リカちゃんに今日。
リカちゃんってリカちゃまのことですか？フルデ神社のリカちゃま？
そうだよ、リカちゃんだよ。俺もどうしようもなく不安で打ち明けたんだ。リカちゃんに。
そうしたらリカちゃまはなんて？
The cat is worrying too much. I'll do something about it for sure. That's what Rika-chan said, and then she smiled. She smiled just like the missing mayor had when he encouraged Ion.
ごめんシオン。俺ちょっとリカちゃんのことが心配になっちゃって。
As you should be.
はい、そんなに心配でしたらぜひ電話を。
Well,
安否を確認してみてください。
ああ、そうさせてもらう。
また明日もこのくらいの時間に連絡します。それをもって私の安否確認としてください。
わかった、待ってる。じゃあな。すまん、キズ。
I put down the receiver without waiting for Shion to say goodbye. The danger to Shion and myself was secondary at this point. My sixth sense was blaring alarms at my head. In my head. I don't like this feeling. It's really bad. It's definitely bad.
くそ、無事でいてくれリカちゃん。
I'm just reading this all calmly. It's kind of ruining the mood. Is this the end of the chapter? No way. No way is it yet. We're gonna go over those tips. How long is your lunch break, Sleg? From the scrapbook 8. The three families in modern times. As previously described, the Three Families Council today is a mere shell of democracy. In reality, it is a dictatorship run by the Sonosaki family. Both the Kimiyoshi and Furude families are far from their former glory, and it doesn't seem at all like they've maintained the ancient traditions. Only the Sonosaki family has retained their glory from the past and has inherited many colorful traditions from the age known as Negafuchi village. Even the most recent verifiable example of Watanagashi that occurred at the end of the Meiji era seems to have been done under the orders of Sonosaki family. Refer to the three families genealogical tree from the late Meiji. You don't have much longer. I mean, we're just gonna go through these tips and then we'll change game from Higurashi again, and once you get off of work, then we'll continue with Higurashi. Does that sound good? After the start of the Meiji era, the Sonosaki family wanted to push the development of Hinamizawa village, so they took a strong role in leadership. During the dam wars a few years ago, the Kimiyoshi family served as the chair of the opposition alliance, but this was in name only. In actuality, the Sonosaki family reigned as leader behind the scenes. The people whisper that perhaps the Kimiyoshi family dictated acts of opposition that could be publicized, and the Sonosaki family enacted those which could not. Even in Hinamizawa, they whisper that the multitude of unsettling incidents reported during the dam protests, such as the kidnapping of the famous head of the Ministry of Construction's son, had been carried out by the Sonosakis. Additionally, they say that perhaps the Sonosaki family's secret maneuvering was responsible for the serial freak death incidents that have continuously occurred in recent years as well. The serial freak death incidents are without a doubt the second coming of the traditional Watanagashi. They must be enacting the Watanagashi on the day of the original Watanagashi, has fallen to the level of an ordinary village festival, in order to remind the villagers of the holy laws of Onikafuji village. It's safe to assert that exploring the Sanosuke family is the fastest route for researching it today. If I can expose the contents of the Furude Shrine's storehouse, I'd like to narrow my research target to the Zonosaki family next. The Zonosaki house is strictly guarded by security cameras on the premises, but thankfully I've become acquainted with the sisters Mion and the next heir and Shion. I want this to be a breakthrough I can connect to my next line of research. Their punishment isn't over.
いえいえ、気にしないでくださいよ。この店でおでんを食べるとですね、なぜか年計のガソリンスタンドの請求書に化けちゃうんですよ。だから遠慮しないでもう一杯飲んでいけばいいのに。
The man, red-faced, waved his hand to say that he had had enough, and disappeared into the brilliant neon lights in front of the station.
クマちゃんも勉強しといてくださいよ。謙虚な人が結局一番長生きするんです。
さっきの話、本当っすかね？
さて、それはわからないですけどね。真偽はともかく、そういう話がまことしやかに流れてるってことには意味があると思いますよ。
そんなのが村長を狙う動機になりうるんすかね？
クマちゃん、いつも言ってるでしょ。動機っていうのは、
Alright, I will definitely enjoy Oishi here. You have fun at work then. I'll probably change the game and we'll see after. I mean I'm probably gonna be awake once you got off of work as well, so we'll continue with Higurashi then. I'll just go through the tips now.
価値観の違いをよく考えなくちゃ。お母さん、もう一杯ください。
Though that we have been suppressing the information, Tomitake and Takano's deaths were already known throughout Hinamizawa. All of the rumors pointed to them having incurred the wrath of the Oyashiro-sama for setting foot in the Forbidden Temple, the storehouse for ritual implements. According to the rumors... I forgot to put the headpads on, oh well, whatever. According to the rumors, there were two other people who went in there with them. Hion Zonosaki and Keiichi Maebara. People were whispering in the shadows that those two would be cursed by Oyashiro-sama as well. Apparently, however, the responsibility didn't fall solely on the four trespassers' shoulders. Until last year, it was locked up tight. This year it had been changed to a simpler lock. Had that been what allowed thieves to enter so easily? Those were the rumors going around.
クマちゃんは見たことありませんか？私はずいぶん前に何かのようで行った時に見たことをよく覚えてますよ。
すみません。ちょっと思い出せないっす。
Jesus Christ, 15 hours. Oh yeah.
そりゃもうおっかないくらいに厳重に施錠してありましたね。重そうな缶抜きでどっかりと塞がれていて、まるで大金庫みたいに厳重な蔵だったんですよ。
This year it was a very simple and cheap padlock. The lone girl protecting the shrine, Rika Furude, disliked the heavy locks and consulted with the mayor, who had replaced it with a simpler padlock.
だから村長とフルデリカも同罪ってことなんですか？だとしたら村長に続いてフルデリカもまずいじゃないですか。
Oh my, this is a bit of a revelation.
その可能性は大ですね。クマちゃん、ひなみ沢を巡回している覆面者に 至急連絡。これで神社近辺に張り付かしてください。
了解っす。
That's a pretty big clue then. It explains why the mayor and Rika were targeted as well. But for now, we shall bid the game adieu momentarily until Fleg returns from work. But let me show this. Check that uptime. 15 hours. That's insane. That's insane. 15 hours. I'm gonna go for a long stream this time around. Like a really long stream. But yes. That was fun. Let me make sure that the save through. Oh yes. Right. I'll have a little bit of a break. I shall go to the toilet. Let me just turn the volume a little. No, I'll be right back. Now we shall change the game, and I do believe that we shall. Persona 5. Yeah. Persona 5 is a sneaking game. That's kinda funny. That is actually pretty hilarious that it is a sneaking game. Oh my, that was fast. Hey, well. Let me just check valid updates.